Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight, that's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time. To pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is game time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday night, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
The girls' basketball season continues here in the state of Indiana, and speaking of continuing, so is this JV contest between Bishop Chatard and Martinsville. Thanks for joining us here on IndianaSRN alongside Joey Lindstrom, Jarrett Lewis here at Indianapolis Bishop Chatard High School. Martinsville is in town, and you just missed it, but we will have continuing coverage of this JV contest between Martinsville and Bishop Chatard girls. The Artesians got fouled as time expired down 2, and they hit 2 big free throws to tie it up and force overtime, and now it's 3.5 minutes put up on the scoreboard to decide this JV contest. So we're going to have to wait a little bit to see the varsity matchup between these two teams. But, yeah, 3.5 minutes of JV basketball, Joey. How about that?
It's one of those things where we obviously know the JV game is going to come in before the varsity. We're used to that, and when there's some drama, it just makes your Saturday taste a little sweeter. So both the scenario right now, you said it, hit 2 clutch free throws. I wish we had the names of the girls. Maybe we could do a little announcing for them. But we'll just have to watch this play out. Martinsville had come back down 12. Chatard hits a clutch shot with about a minute to go. Goes back and forth, back and forth. Girl gets fouled, hits 2 free throws by herself. It's like nobody else was in the gym. It was so quiet.
So as this JV overtime period gets going, I want to remind you that this afternoon's broadcast is being brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Bertner Electric, your licensed and experienced electrician serving Central Indiana. IUPUI Sports Management, a lifetime of sport with a winning degree. Piper Logistics, 3 services, 1 solution, and Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown farm equipment dealer. So overtime gets started here between Bishop Chatard and Martinsville. Tied up 34-34 is our score.
What I've liked so far is how aggressive both these squads have been, especially when they're trying to go to the paint.
A lot of whistles in this one, and there's a shot knocked down for Martinsville, and they take the lead.
A 3-ball to the top at the top of the arc. We weren't seeing any shots really made unless they were inside the paint before.
There's a nice dump down, but can't finish it are the Trojans. And now they'll kick it out for a 3. That one's just short. It'll go out of bounds over to the Artesians. Uh-oh, the ball is back here.
Trying to steal the ball, huh?
You can see us
Great
here.
hustle there by Jarrett Lewis.
Yeah, hey, appreciate that. And you can see us. We're up on the stage here on the one end of the court. Three-point shot. That one wide and off the backboard. Up the floor.
Oh, I think she might have traveled.
Yeah.
The gather step. When you're that close to the basket in transition, you can't afford to hop into it.
And that is crucial. That would have tied up the game at 36 apiece.
It's a great warm-up for what we're going to see between the varsity squads for Chatard and Martinsville today.
That shot short off the front of the rim, and now a tangle up for the basketball. It'll be a jump ball in favor of Bishop Chatard. And it is 1:30 at the moment. So varsity action not quite underway. JV going into overtime. And we will have an extended pregame for you to prepare for this girls varsity matchup in just a few minutes after this one.
Yeah, who needs us just talking about it? This is enough to get us pumped up for the next game.
And now previewing the matchup just a little bit. It'll just be the second game this season for the girls varsity team of Bishop Chatard. They're 1-0 on the season, coming off a win against Crispus Attucks on Tuesday.
Yep.
64-46, that score. But a different story for Martinsville. They have much more games under their belt. They are 3-2 this year. So this will be game number 6 compared to just 2 games for Bishop Chatard.
And that obviously has its own types of challenges when you're Bishop Chatard. You're trying to figure out who you are. You lost quite a bit of seniors, especially those that had an impact. You lose both leading scorers from last season. This is kind of a newfound team. As she hits a shot right there on the painted side.
And that will tie it up at 36.
But as I was saying, I mean, you look at both these teams, if you lose some of your best players, somebody has to step up. And with 8 seniors on the Chatard squad, obviously they've been a part of a program where Coach Wagner is emphasizing, hey, look, we need leaders. We're losing a lot of our leading scorers. That means players like Izzy Davis, Grace Adams, and Carly DeCastro are going to have to step up as former juniors. Now in the senior class, this is a huge opportunity to really make some noise.
And Coach Dan Wagner, in his first year coaching the girls varsity basketball team of Bishop Chatard, taking over for Coach Katie Fisher. Last season, the Trojans, sectional champions, ended up losing in the regional championship game to Tri-West. They finished the year 17-8. for both these schools, historically good when it comes to girls basketball. For Bishop Chatard, their last losing season was in the 2015-16 year, and that was the first season that Coach Katie Fisher was the girls' varsity coach. And for Martinsville, since 2009, that was their last losing season, and they went 7-14 in that year. Followed up that year with 3 consecutive 500 seasons, but ever since then, it has been a winning program for Martinsville and also for the Trojans. Traveling violation called against Martinsville. That'll turn it over with 1:26 left to go in this overtime period. A chance for the Trojans to try and take the lead. Again, if you're just joining us, it is overtime for the JV basketball game. Tied up at 36. Bishop Chatard and the visiting Martinsville Artesians.
Again, it's still tied up, 36 apiece, and it seems like neither team is willing to give an inch. Martinsville felt like they had a little bit of momentum. It's surely being taken away by Chatard. They just keep staying in it.
Jump down pass is intercepted, and a foul in response after the turnover. It looks like it's going to go against Martinsville. And now just under a minute to play at 58 seconds. So 58.4 to be exact on the game clock, tied at 36.
Under a minute now. This is where the memories get made.
Quick three-point shot is just too strong. Offensive rebound for Chatard, and that shot was deflected. Defensive rebound for Martinsville, trying to get out of it, and they do.
Surprised because normally we've seen a couple of those tie-ups, and they've been called jump balls. No call there from the official.
Martinsville, they swing it around, driving in and bulldozing her way through. It's an offensive foul. Bishop Chatard taking the charge in the lane, and that's a huge call with 32.6 left to go.
Yeah, it is. Whenever you can stand strong outside the circle and take the charge, shoot, you might as well. Big stop to get the ball back.
And another.
Chatard needs someone to take the ball out.
Yeah, it's an offensive foul, so it won't be 1-and-1. That is the 17th foul. But you don't do free throws on an offensive foul like that. So the referees will converse at the scorer's table. There it is. That is the score right now. As you can see, 32.6. The foul count, you can almost see it, but there's 10 team fouls for Bishop Chatard and 7 team fouls now for Martinsville. They played most of that second half with 5 team fouls. They entered overtime with 5 fouls. Shot for Bishop Chatard doesn't go. Rebound for Martinsville. And a whistle comes in. Timeout called by Martinsville with 20.6 left to go. Artesians trying to draw up one last shot and try to win this thing. There's a look at the scoreboard yet again. Both of these schools, actually, no, just Martinsville is a 4A program. Bishop Chatard is in the 3A class, although a lot of good sports teams come through Bishop Chatard, so they play almost up in class.
They love to challenge themselves. I think that's kind of the benefit you get when you go Catholic or private schools. You get to face different types of programs that are either bigger than you or maybe better because you want to challenge yourself and elevate to that level. Big reason why a lot of those private high schools will go ahead and play bigger schools because they just want to get better.
And you can see it in this gymnasium, the amount of banners that are hanging up on the wall for state championship teams for Bishop Chatard, including the one right next to the scoreboard there in your screen. That's the 2007 Class 3A football state championship banner. And there's a couple of more to the right of it along the rest of the wall, including back-to-back state champions in Class 3A in football 2019 and 2020. So here we go. 12 seconds left to go. Martinsville with it. Trying to win it in overtime. 8 seconds. At the top of the key. 5 seconds. Have to get a shot off. Driving in. Running somebody over. It's going to be an offensive foul called against Martinsville. That'll stop the clock at 0.6 seconds. So are we looking at double overtime here, Joey Lindstrom?
I do not know. Does that exist for JV basketball?
I have no idea either, but we're going to find out here shortly.
6 seconds. Well, I have to imagine you try to get a shot off quickly, and if one of them goes in, I don't know. One of these teams must have been praying very hard.
So 0.6 seconds to be exact. Martinsville doesn't even get a shot off. And they lose the basketball on the court, and that ends up being an offensive foul called against them. So this will be a get it in and get the shot off as quick as you can for Bishop Chatard, throwing up a prayer. And we'll see what this coaching staff of the Trojans draws up. Again, still waiting for this one to conclude, and then we'll have the varsity matchup for you. The Trojans of Bishop Chatard 1-0 this season, 3-2 for Martinsville. They've played much more games. The last 8 meetings between Martinsville and Bishop Chatard at the varsity level, the Artesians lead at 7-1, including last year a 68-51 victory. So it's side out in front of the Martinsville bench, and this will be a tough pass to get off, and then a tough shot for the Trojans.
Just got to launch it.
That's what they do. Nice tip, nice defensive effort made there by Martinsville. If number 21 for the Artesians isn't there, that is a good look for the Trojans. So it appears we're playing more basketball.
Well, the interesting part is going to be how much time do they put on the clock? Because 3:30. There you go. So another 3-minute and 30-second period to go to boot for both squads to try to win this one. Thought we were going to get in one overtime. Thought we were going to get in regular time.
The entering overtime, the score is 34-34. So both teams in 3 minutes and 30 seconds only coming away with 2 points each. And now they're messing with the time on the scoreboard. Not sure if they're going to put 3:30 back up there or if it is a different amount of time for your second overtime period. Well, 33 minutes isn't correct, obviously. So it looks like it's going to be 3.5 yet again for overtime number 2.
Well, what's cool is that you're never going to forget the 2 overtime victory you had if you're Chatard over Martinsville and vice versa. And not only that, all these girls have put in so much effort, and when you're not playing varsity all the time, sometimes you feel like maybe your game gets overshadowed, but this is the dramatic that you want, that you invite when you go play high school basketball, no matter what level you're at, no matter what team you're on for your respective high school. It's exciting.
It's the middle of the day on a Saturday, and it's a pretty nicely packed gymnasium from both Bishop Chatard and Martinsville, and the energy has definitely been there, especially picking up in that second half, and now into overtime number 2.
And these girls, not to mention, were not expecting to put in so much effort today for this game. So when you're looking at it, a second overtime, legs might be a little bit tired. We might see some shots just kind of forced.
Same for the referees, too. You can almost forget about them and how much they're doing a little extra running up the court. 7 extra minutes of play here in this JV contest. Pass up the court. Bishop Chatard doesn't get it, but it was last touched by Martinsville. Dangerous pass, trying to set up their first offensive possession of the quarter.
What a pass.
Great pass, setting up the right-handed layup, and it goes down for the Trojans. They take the lead in this second overtime.
When you have that isolation play where you can have your point guard leak out somehow, that's the player you don't want to escape because they're probably the fastest player on the court. Great play by Chatard to get that layup.
And a quick response on the other end for Martinsville. They draw the foul. And so they'll go to the free throw line. Had a player knock down 2 free throws as time expired in that fourth quarter to force overtime. And now this free throw is off the mark.
I still can't believe 22 for Martinsville was alone at the free throw line. Sunk the first one, and she was
nothing but net too.
She was having to breathe. She was having to fan herself down, calm herself down, and she gets the 2 free throws. She gets the first one to hit, and then rattles in the second one. That was an unreal moment. But now here you are. You're in an even and odd score. With the pace that this game is going, I have to think that as long as you're up by 1 point, I can't imagine a 3 ball is going to go even it. You might have a chance at the free throw line, but.
And a turnover there committed that time, a carrying call against Bishop Chatard. Artesians with a chance to take the lead. Still at the top of the key.
Looking for a lot of pick and roll plays like we've seen already. Martinsville's done a good job of moving the ball around.
A minute gone by in this overtime. 2.5 minutes left to play. They call a foul as reaching in was number 21 of the Trojans.
I thought it was a nice poke away. I mean, you when you're defending, you want to have your hips forward, eyes on the waist of your offensive player. Unfortunately for Chatard, that's going to be a bonus and send her to the free throw line. But I like the effort to try to poke that ball away.
Get some whistles before the first free throw goes up.
So it'll be 2 shots.
10 team fouls against the Trojans, so the rest of the way, Martinsville will have 2 free throws. No questions asked, and that first one is through the net to tie things up at 38. Second free throw up, also good, nothing but net. Martinsville takes the lead, 39-38 the score. Bishop Chatard quickly up the court, turning around and called for the travel. Is number 13 of the Trojans.
Unfortunately, that gather step got her again. And she took the dribble, which was nice, but when she turned around, she hopped with both feet. I have to use the pivot foot in that situation. But now if you're Martinsville up by 1, let her rip. That foul does not help. She's going to go to line.
No, it does not. It gives Martinsville a chance to make it possibly a 3-point game. And this is who sunk the 2 free throws to force overtime for Martinsville. Back at the charity stripe. First free throw is up. And again, it's knocked down. Now 40-38 our score. .206 up on the clock. To make it a 3-point game, not this time. Stays at a 2-point margin. Trojans quickly down the floor, and they tie it up, using the backboard nicely to make it 40-40.
I love the way that she kind of slough faked the pass out to the side onto the baseline, and number 11 cashes that one in.
1:40 left to go. Tied back up at 40. The numerous ties in this JV contest. So we got bonus basketball for you this afternoon on IndianaSRN. Under 90 seconds. Martinsville taking their time. And Chatard will respond to that with picking up the defense. Beyond the volleyball line. Spin move into the lane. Shot is up. No good from Martinsville, but they keep it alive. She gets her own offensive rebound. Under a minute left to go. A drive, kick out, short corner shot is knocked down by Martinsville. Number 30 for the Artesians gives them the lead. It's 42-40. 45 seconds left to play.
What a chance for Martinsville there. Kick it down on the baseline. 22 has been sure-handed all night.
And a bad pass goes over the head. And a bad turnover in the worst spot if you're Bishop Chatard. Picking up the pressure, full court are the Trojans. Martinsville able to break it easily. And now it's about possibly finding the right girl to foul. Unless you get a steal, they nearly do. Martinsville, you don't need a shot here. There's a bad pass and a turnover. The Trojans take it back. 17 seconds. Here come the Trojans the other way. On the floor, a scrum. Trojans still have it. 8 seconds. It's deflected. Martinsville gets the steal. And you have to foul. The Trojans do not foul right away, and a huge chunk of the clock goes down. It stops the clock with 1.1 left to go. And some huge free throws upcoming for Martinsville to try and seal the deal.
Unfortunately for Chatard, they thought the game was over. They thought the game was over. They rolled it out, and nobody was there to foul 30. She was standing there like, I'm just going to keep the ball here. Shoot my free throws. Now you just need to make one.
It'll be a tough task facing the Trojans, and now this free throw makes it 43-40. But trying to go the length of the floor with 1.1 on the clock, and it won't matter if Martinsville can sink this next free throw. Shot is up, and it is good. 44-40, our score. In double overtime fashion. But before that, the Trojans will call a timeout to try and set things up. Hey, you never know. A 4-point play
Yeah, never
could
know.
happen.
Especially in this scenario where we've seen quite a few fouls already.
So 44-40 is the score. 1.1, as you can see there, up on the scoreboard. Trying to go the length of the floor are the Trojans, and just trying to draw a foul, force up a prayer, and possibly tie this game up. We've already seen some craziness happen in this JV contest. So out of the timeout now. Full court press upcoming from Martinsville. And it's a baseball pass up the floor. 3-point shot is up, too strong. It won't matter. In double overtime, Martinsville, the JV squad, they're victorious 44-40. They knocked down 2 huge free throws to force overtime as time expired. That made the contest 34-34. And they win it 44-40. And now, time for the varsity.
Well, we didn't need any coffee or anything for this afternoon. We're all jacked up from this game, from this JV finish. Normally, it's just a placeholder, I guess. Not to make anything less, but like these girls want to warm up, what have you, and we got the most exciting JV game I've ever seen.
The time right now is 1:53. The varsity game was supposed to start approximately 1:30,
right.
And now you add the 20-minute warm-up clock, so we're looking at about a 2:15 start time for this varsity contest. So make sure you stick around for that as Martinsville heads out onto the court for their 20-minute warm-up period, and the Trojans of Bishop Chatard will follow them now. And so now we wait. We'll have the 20-minute warm-up ensue, and then we'll be back to bring you most of this warm-up time here on IndianaSRN. Alongside Joey Lindstrom, Jarrett Lewis here for girls varsity basketball action on this Saturday afternoon from Indianapolis Bishop Chatard. We'll take a break. We'll be back shortly to preview this one from the home of the Trojans.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor because land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at ReynoldsFarmEquipment.com.
Welcome back to Bishop Chatard High School, home of the Trojans. Girls varsity basketball here this afternoon on the north side of Indianapolis with Joey Lindstrom. I'm Jarrett Lewis here on IndianaSRN. Martinsville pulled off a double overtime victory in the JV contest. That's why this varsity game is going to have an approximate 2:15 start time. But boy, was it a fun one to watch, and we actually got to see the both overtime periods here on IndianaSRN. If you joined us, you got to watch that as well. Quite the nail biter, but the Artesians end up pulling it off with a couple of free throws late in that one.
Yeah, they did. It was an impressive battle. For a while, Chatard had the upper hand. I think they were up by 12, as many as 12. And Martinsville came all the way back. Hit a couple clutch free throws at the end of regulation to send them one to even and get it to overtime. And then it just was a battle of who wants it more, or who doesn't not want it, I guess, because shot after shot after shot was coming. Nothing was going in. Jump ball after jump ball, foul after foul, and finally we got a winner in double OT. That was crazy. What a crazy sequence.
It was crazy. One of the crazier girls' JV games that you'll ever see.
Yes.
But now we shift our focus to the varsity matchup and kind of different starts to the season so far for these two teams. This is just the second game this year for Bishop Chatard. They're 1-0 on the season. They got a victory on Tuesday at Crispus Attucks. a pretty close one throughout the entire matchup. They end up winning it 64-56. And now the Trojans will head into their second game against Martinsville here on their home court. The Artesians 3-2 this season. Their last game was a win against Bloomington North 44-38. The Artesians are giving up more points to their opponents. They do have that winning record of 3-2, but averaging 45 points offensively, but defensively giving up almost 10 more points than that at 54.5. So kind of that interesting situation. You give up more points to your opponents, but still able to find ways to get wins. So Martinsville this year under their second year head coach, Dave Dorsett, who is 19-7 all time. Last year, this Martinsville team finished 16-5 and unfortunately fell in the first round of the sectional to East Central. Their returning leading scorer is Delaney Wolf. Last season, she averaged 12.5 points per game. This year, their leading scorer at 20 points per game. Yeah. The next closest girl, I believe, is 10 points behind her. So Delaney Wolf can really take over a game at any moment, and she has shown in the first 5 games of this year that she has the scoring ability.
Yeah, I mean, she's listed at 3 different positions, right? So they'll play her at point. Coach Dorsett will have her go to shooting guard or small forward. She can kind of do it all. She's got really good balance. And with 20 points per game, obviously they're going to look to give her the ball as much as they can. She also can kind of do it herself, but she doesn't need to. She has a cast of characters around her like Ryan Owens and Haley Polston who can, when she misses, can go grab the rebound, or they can go assist her, whatever works. Ryan Owens just behind her with 9.6 points per game. Haley Polston, 8 points per game, 7 rebounds per game. I think what Martinsville does best is they transition the basketball, and especially when they come off of steals or what have you. Fast break plays are their bread and butter, and I think that's the kind of thing that they're going to be looking for as they move into this game against Chatard, who comes off their first win of the season.
Last season, Martinsville averaged 66 points a game and only gave up 51.5 to their opponents, so nearly a 15-point difference. Doing it on both sides of the floor they did last year, but you can probably guess that these girls wanted to go a little bit deeper into the postseason, losing first round in a tough sectional after having such a great regular season. Probably trying to come back with some revenge this year. We'll take our first break. When we come back, we'll look a little bit closer at the Trojan side and their girls program in just their second game this season on their home court here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Bishop Chatard High School. The Trojans will start their second game of the season at home against the Artesians of Martinsville High School. Alongside Joey Lindstrom, Jarrett Lewis here with you. Now looking at this Trojans team, they, like we said a little bit ago, their first game of the year on the road at Crispus Attucks, victorious 64-56. In his first year coaching the Trojans is Dan Wagner, taking over for the previous head coach, Katie Fisher, who only had 1 losing season at the helm of the girls basketball program here at Bishop Chatard, and that came way back in the 2015-2016 season. So needless to say, both of these schools are very rich in their girls basketball programs. For Martinsville, their last losing year was 2009-2010, so over 10 years now it has been for Martinsville. The Trojans last year went a little bit deeper than Martinsville, actually made it to the regional championship game, unfortunately fell to Tri-West by a score of 72-60. A 17-8 season for the defending sectional champions of last year. And really, it's been too early, just one game under their belt. You do like coming off a win on the road if you're Bishop Chatard, and now come in playing your first game of the year on your home court, but still not a whole lot figured out quite yet from this Bishop Chatard team early in the season.
No, not quite yet. I mean, in their game against Addicts, they win that game pretty handily by over 10 points. And really what happens when you start out the year with a win is you figure out that, yes, we can win and win handily, but what did we do well? What did we not do well? And what do we need to work on? And I think when you play a team like Martinsville, who, one, has a winning record, and two, has had a history of success, I think that's probably a good benchmark for where you are at right now and where you need to be. You lose two of your two leading scorers from last season, but you return Izzy Davis, Grace Adams, and Carly DeCastro, who are going to have to carry the load. I mean, last year DeCastro averaged 5 points, Grace Adams averaged 4 points, Izzy Davis averaged 6.5 points per game. What is going to be the role of each of those players? Can you get the ball in the paint and ensure that no matter what you're doing, that you're just getting the ball to your playmakers? That's got to be that's going to be the paramount factor here, Jarrett. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they kind of develop, because Martinsville, with 5 games under their belt already, Chatard really just hasn't had the benefit of having as many games so far. And so I think that's something that you have to take into account as well. How are both these teams going to adjust? One with 5 games of experience already, but on the other side, they're just trying to figure out who they are, because now they have 8 seniors, but they lost 4 last year. This is almost a whole new team.
And if you're just joining us, the JV game going a little bit long, just a little bit, 2 overtimes to be exact, and Martinsville ended up being out on top 44-40 in that one. So a delayed start to this varsity game. It'll be approximately 2:15 is what we are guessing. So getting close to tip-off here from Bishop Chatard High School. This is one of 3 games on the network this afternoon. The other girls' basketball game going on this afternoon is Bloomington North at Covenant Christian. CJ and Clark on the call of that one at Covenant Christian. And a football game this afternoon. Still one game to be decided on who's making it to Lucas Oil Stadium in the 3A state championship game. Gibson Southern is at Tri-West. The coach will be on the call of that one, along with Troy D. Should be an exciting one. The winner of that one getting matched up with Brebeuf Jesuit in the 3A state championship game.
What a run for Brebeuf, too. I mean, I know it's hard. That's a word you shouldn't say here at Chatard, but what that football team, from losing to Chatard last year in the regional and then coming back all the way to a state run, I think whoever plays Brebeuf, either out of those 2 teams, Gibson Southern and Tri-West, is going to have a tall order.
We'll head to another break here from Bishop Chatard High School. Girls varsity basketball coming up here shortly between the Trojans and the Artesians. Stay with us here on IndianaSRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Girls varsity basketball coming up here shortly on the Family Network's IndianaSRN. Joey Lindstrom alongside me. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Again, one of 2 girls basketball games this afternoon on IndianaSRN. The other one being Bloomington North at Covenant Christian. This one, Martinsville at Chatard. The Trojans just 1-0 on the season. trying to start the year off 2-0, but facing a tough Martinsville team that's 3-2 this year, led by Delaney Wolf, a senior who averages 20 points a game. Second in line is Ryan Owens, also a senior. A lot of experience on this Martinsville girls team. She averages 9.5 points a game. Haley Poston is the center. She's at 6'2", a big body for the Artesians, so that could play to their advantage. She averages 8 points and 7 rebounds a contest. The next game for Martinsville will be their first conference game of the year, taking on Mooresville out of the Mid-State Conference. That game will be November 23rd, so next week. And then their following game after that, 10 whole days of a break right after Thanksgiving. December 3rd, another conference game for Martinsville. They will be at Greenwood. So a nice little run here for the Martinsville. This is their first of 4 road games that they will have to start off this opening frame of this season. And then 2 conference games early on in the year, hopefully for them, trying to get a good start in that conference, which is always tough. Those teams know each other so well. We mentioned Mooresville and Greenwood. So 3-2 mark for Martinsville, hoping to get a win here, and then you enter conference play.
And I think the biggest portion of their success is going to be distributing the basketball to their playmakers, namely Delaney Wolf. Just watching her in warm-ups, I mean, she's got a sweet stroke. I mean, she's got a great shot. And not to mention, too, all these Martinsville players seem to just be focused. I don't know. There's something about they just look ready. And I think that when you take a look at both these sides and how they warm up, Chatard seems to be a little more loose, and maybe that's the way that they groove. But Martinsville just seems to be focused. You can kind of see it, and that's an attitude that you probably like to see if you're Coach Dorsett.
That kind of goes back to one of the topics that we mentioned early on in the broadcast, how it's an early season for Bishop Chatard. They may not know exactly what their identity is as a program, but Martinsville has much more games under their belt. They're 3-2, so this is their 6th game this season. They probably have figured each other out just a little bit more, and with those seniors that we mentioned, including Wolf and Owens and Haley Polston, those girls bring a lot of experience. They've played together, I'm assuming, for most of their middle school and high school careers. So they, like you said, with that focus, they probably have a certain demeanor about them that they have been able to figure out in their basketball career.
Yeah, and I think that goes into saying that anytime you have a team that's got some major focus, that has had deep runs or had winning seasons since 2009, 2010, it's indicative of how your attitude is as a program overall, and I think that we'll get to see that from both squads today.
So this game getting closer to tip-off, under 2 minutes left to go in this warm-up time. Sports management careers are booming when you're managing the business side of sports. You're always a major player in the game. Our graduates work in crucial and demanding positions at sports organizations and venues, managing arenas and stadiums, handling publicity for their favorite teams, and developing the market for innovative sports products. That's IUPUI Sports Management. Contact them today at iupui.edu/sportsmanagement. The last time these two teams met was tomorrow's date, November 21st of 2020, and that was Martinsville getting the victory 68-51. So the Artesians have definitely had the Trojans' numbers. They have won 7 of the last 8 meetings, and now trying to make it 8 of 9. Again, 2 very rich girls basketball programs here in the state of Indiana. The last losing season for Martinsville was way back in 2009-2010, and for Bishop Chatard, it was 2015 and 16. And for the Trojans, their next game after this will be November 24th. They will be at Cathedral, who has also had much more games under their belt. They're 2-2 on this season. Their first conference game in the Circle City for Bishop Chatard will be December 10th at Heritage Christian, who I just recently saw the Eagles girls basketball team not too long ago losing a lot of their scoring offense from last year, losing their 4 top scorers. So a lot of shoes to fill for Coach Wiseman and the Heritage Christian Eagles. But we are here this afternoon at Bishop Chatard High School as the teams will now line up and we'll get ready for the national anthem, and soon we'll have a tip-off between Martinsville and Bishop Chatard here on Indiana SRN. We'll take a break. Back in a moment.
What's the number one misconception you think about Freemasonry?
Well, I think most people just think of Freemasonry as some kind of secret society, and you go with some of the rumors out there and so on, and they really don't understand who we are. They don't understand that we are a fraternity of brothers first, and our obligation is to take care of each other and our widows and orphans, etc. within our group. They don't understand what the fraternity part of Freemasonry really is, and that's the misconception that's out there. I think first and foremost of anyone that wants to join Freemasonry, I'd like them to know that it's really not a secret society. You may say it's a society with a secret because we have some handshakes and some passwords that you could easily find down in a library if you get the right book. Freemasonry is more, it's a brotherhood, it's a fraternity, it's a way of sharing common thoughts and everything with people of all different vocations that really understand of getting together on the level. Whether you're a judge or a police officer or a janitor, you're all on the same level when you're in a Masonic lodge room. And I think that's one of the greatest things, that you can sit with people of all vocations, but you have that certain thing in common, that you're all brothers.
Tip-off getting closer here from Bishop Chatard High School on the north side of Indianapolis. Jarrett Lewis here alongside Joey Lindstrom on Indiana SRN. The starting lineup first for the visitors of Martinsville. Marina Rottenkranz wears number 1, a junior point guard. Ryan Owens, number 5, a shooting guard and also a senior. Pacey Lewis is a forward and a sophomore wearing number 20. Delaney Wolf, number 23, a point guard and a senior. And also Haley Poston, who will be down low for Martinsville, wears number 30, also a senior. The starting lineup for Bishop Chatard, getting the numbers real quick. Caroline Bell is in the starting lineup along with Carly DeCastro, Kate Caskey, Izzy Davis, and Grace Adams. Tipping it up for Bishop Chatard will be Caroline Bell going up against Haley Polston, who's at 6'2", and has a couple of inches on the next tallest player on the court this afternoon. Girls basketball at the varsity level underway here from Bishop Chatard, and it will be Wolf to get things going, and a quick pass underneath to Polston, but her shot is deflected. A quick one and done for Martinsville, and back down the other way are the Trojans. A scrum on the court and our first jump ball of this evening.
Well, I like immediately Martinsville's strategy to try to get the ball on the post. You know you have a size advantage with Polston down at the block, so why not use her, right? And I think that's Delaney Wolf's strategy when she's running the point.
Out of bounds under for the Trojans, a three-point attempt. A high arcing shot goes down for Izzy Davis to open up the scoring.
There you go, Izzy Davis, 6.5 points. She gets the ball back here.
And a steal and a foul, blocking foul going against Polston. The first foul of this ball game, and off and running are the Bishop Chatard Trojans.
Well, I was going to say 6.5 points per game last season. She gets started with the 3. That's the kind of weight you're going to have to carry if you're Izzy Davis. Another couple players, Grace Adams, as well as Carly DeCastro. At the line, Kate Caskey, and she's another player that needs to carry the load. So it's more identifying what you're really good at, what the kinds of things you're going to try to get open.
Caskey, quick catch and shoot. She misses both free throws, but an offensive rebound for the Trojans. They come up empty this time, and high flying to keep the play alive was Caroline Bell.
I love the hustle of both these squads, but specifically Bishop Chatard so far.
But the Trojans are just running all over the half court.
Man, they're playing extra fast.
Now they'll slow things down. Davis has it in the corner. Goes baseline, nice Euro step, but she misses everything. Ball out of bounds, and it goes over to Martinsville.
Man, I mean, if you're Davis, you made that great Euro step play to dodge, and then all of a sudden all you had to do was throw up the layup for the floater and 2 points, but unfortunately that one doesn't go.
And full court press coming in, but Martinsville able to break it out quickly. It'll be Wolf to bring it up for the Artesians.
This offense is going to run through Delaney Wolf, so they're trying to get her in positions and move her around a lot to get open.
Wolf, currently at the top of the key, is cut off by Caskey. Coach Dorsett yelling out, passing and cutting from his offense. Wolf now guarded closely by Caskey. Step back shot is good. That's a 3 from Delaney Wolf to tie it up.
That looked like a college-level move right there. Delaney Wolf, the senior, just let it rip and took a step back on the outside 3.
We get a whistle as driving baseline was DeCastro, and she forces a blocking foul called against Martinsville. And didn't quite catch who it was on. But we will make a mental note of that. Davis open in the corner, sees a double team and gets out of it. They'll swing it around. 3-point shot goes up, and it's off the mark from Bell. And a long rebound to Izzy Davis. Tries to dump it down underneath, but Polston, great defense, and ends up seeing maybe a frustration foul called against Izzy. Two fouls now against, actually that's the first one against Bishop Chatard. There's been 2 fouls called against Martinsville. Up the floor, pass deflected, and Lewis opting to keep it alive, but it goes in favor of Bishop Chatard. Euro step, but a traveling violation called against Davis.
I think Davis is going to be the primary target for Bishop Chatard to try to get the offense going. She takes it herself in the fast break. One too many steps, though. She's tried another Euro step there.
Polston has to be in the backcourt to try and break this press. And now Wolf, spin move into the lane. Sees help side defense, and that ball rattles out, almost goes down.
I think any other time that ball off the glass right there goes in for Delaney Wolf.
Getting it up the floor, and Davis is met by a brick wall in Polston. Nearly turns it away as Lewis wasn't looking for it. A lot of intensity, high-powered offense, and just 6 points to show for total.
High-intensity gym, too. I mean, it's relatively quiet.
A deep 3 is an air ball from Lewis, and that'll give it back to Bishop Chatard. We see a couple of substitutions, 1 by each team, and now 2 for Bishop Chatard. Coming in for Martinsville is Holly Gallion, and for Bishop Chatard, we see Anna Thompson check in along with Lily Moeller.
Martinsville moving to more of a kind of shell full court press out of a zone.
And Bell's able to get it across the midcourt stripe. Traveling violation called against Moeller, who had just checked in.
I like what Coach Dave Dorsett is doing so far with his squad. He's having them in this sort of shell mock full court press, pushing them into a 2-3 zone to try to push Bishop Chatard and to shoot the ball more. Possibly something that he's trying to exploit a weakness. And to go back on a comment I made earlier, quiet gym so you can hear exactly what the coaches are yelling to their team.
Coach Wagner sends in his 3rd substitution as Sarah Borland has checked in, and we get a foul away from the basketball, an illegal screen set by Polston, and that's foul number 2 on Haley Polston.
Yeah, Polston unfortunately gains that foul because she moved on her screen.
And Polston is still out there on defense. She bats this ball out of bounds and nearly takes the head off of the official.
And our trusty cameraman. Not our cameraman, but the cameraman that's running around shooting for Chatard.
Driving baseline, the runner is short. Offensive rebound and drawing the foul. Caroline Bell will head to the free throw line for 2 free throws. And Grace Phelps has also checked in for Chatard. So Coach Wagner going 9 deep early on in this first quarter. We're not even halfway through. First free throw swishes through for Caroline Bell. Bell's second shot, this time too strong, and the rebound to Polston. Quickly across midcourt is Martinsville. Shot is up and good for Holly Gallion. Kicked ball out of bounds will stay with the Trojans.
That was a nice 15-footer from Gallion. I think she's the type of player that she likes to post up in the spots and take those jump shots.
Shot even with the traffic, in and out. That one from Bell. And now Wolf will get it and slow things down for Martinsville. Driving in, free throw line jumper. Too strong from Ryan Owens.
This Martinsville squad has shot 28% from the field this year. They shoot a lot, and I think that's encouraging, at least in the beginning of the year. You might as well shoot a ton to try to see which spots hit the most and where you can try to run your offense.
Meanwhile, Delaney Wolf picking up that foul. That's team foul number 5 going against Martinsville, and just 1 on the side for Bishop Chatard. So early foul trouble for the Artesians. They try to get it into the high post, and it's batted away by Polston, and a foul after the turnover committed by Anna Thompson. Side out, Delaney Wolf will try to get it in. Another substitution from Coach Wagner as he puts Kate Caskey back into the ball game. Deep pass down the court, and it's intercepted. Grace Adams going the other way. Up with the right hand, it's no good. She gets her own rebound, however.
I love the effort from Adams, and she's fast. Just has to finish that one. Sometimes those easy shots are the toughest to make.
A burst of speed from Adams. Great passing by Bishop Chatard as they find DeCastro in the high post, and she beats him with the left-handed dribble.
That's exactly what you needed from Carly DeCastro, and in the middle of that zone, too.
And with this full court pressure, they force another turnover to the Trojans, and it'll result in free throws upcoming for Anna Thompson. That's now at least 4 turnovers committed here by Martinsville, and Bishop Chatard was able to take the lead with that last bucket, trying to extend it here as Thompson is at the line. The lefty gets a nice bounce and puts in the first.
So far, I like the aggression that Chatard is playing with. And not only that, they're also trying to go for their offensive rebounds. Not every team does that, and especially when you're playing against the zone. You'd rather just shoot it and let them rebound because you're not really sure. You'd rather just get back on defense.
Delaney Wolf trying to shake Grace Adams. And now she'll get rid of it. They swing it around the top of the key. Find Owens on the left wing. Wolf thought about a 3, but is closely guarded by Adams, and we get a foul called as Wolf was driving in. It appears it's going against Adams, and that is indeed the case. 3 fouls so far by the Trojans. A push-off by Wolf, and an offensive foul called on her.
That's a tough position if you're Delaney Wolf because you're being defended by Grace Phelps so hard. What else is she supposed to do than try to shake herself away? And unfortunately, she gets caught for the push-off there.
And that's going to force Coach Dorsett to go to his bench. Wolf takes a seat. And this shot is no good from Bishop Chatard. Checking in for Martinsville was, I believe, Emma Potter.
Love that Polston is just staying upright, putting her hands up. She knows that she's taller than everybody, so all she has to do is just throw her hands up and essentially take the contact, and that's what she's doing. She's not getting any fouls called because she's doing it fundamentally right.
In the corner, Adams is open, foot on the line, and the shot is just short.
That's a tough alliteration.
It is. I've done that before, I'm going to be honest. Adams, another attempt. This time it was from 3, and again a miss, but DeCastro with the old board.
The effort on the offensive rebounds is astounding right now.
With the left hand, DeCastro, another offensive rebound. And a tie-up on the floor. Offensive rebounds and turnovers forced by Bishop Chatard. The effort level so far has been there in this first quarter.
Yeah, it has. It's clear as day. I mean, each and every shot that goes up by Bishop Chatard is being followed by another Trojan. That is what is going to separate you. And really, when it comes down to it, that's really what wins games, is going after those aggressive offensive rebounds. But if you're Martinsville, if you have the size, start using it now that Delaney Wolf's on the bench.
Ryan Owens will have to run the point now with Wolf sitting out for quite possibly the rest of this first quarter. Traveling called up top against Pacey Lewis. Another turnover for Martinsville. That's now 6 in this first quarter.
Yeah, it seems like Martinsville relies heavily on Delaney Wolf to run the point and run the offense. And when she's not out there, they have to identify a leader who's going to take point.
2-3 zone look now defensively from Martinsville, and a traveling just like that. Only a couple seconds tick off before Izzy Davis commits one of her own. Substitution for Chatard as Kate Caskey will head back to the bench. Quinn Johnson checks in for the first time. Lewis swings it around up top. Polston will put up a 3. That one's good. That ties things up at 8.
Who knew? Haley Polston, she's got 8 points per game this year. You think that most of that because of where she usually plays on the court are all 2s inside the paint, but she hits the 3 ball and knots it up at 8.
Polston this year averaging 8 points, 7 rebounds. Her and Wolf with 2 threes, and then Gallion with the other made shot for Martinsville. Under 90 seconds left to play in this opening quarter. Chatard swings it around to Castro, top of the key. Will dump it down. Polston met. That was Bell called for the traveling violation right at the free throw line.
It seems to me that so far Chatard is not doing a great job of using each of those players. Not doing a job of using their pivot foot. They're trying to look for the next pass, which is great, but you have to set your feet before you try to make a decision like that.
The Trojans a couple times they've been looking at the high post. They're trying to thread it through this defense that Martinsville is going with, and Polston is just a towering body over everybody. When she steps up and faces you at that free throw line, It could be a lot to take in right away when you have that basketball there for Bishop Chatard.
Yeah, she uses her height really well. She's a force down there, especially when you're running a zone like that. The worst thing if you're an offense is to have a large body in the middle to try to defend that, to try to play offense against that.
A couple of quick fouls picked up for Chatard. They have 5 as a team, and Martinsville has 7. It's going to be 1-1 the rest of the way for the Trojans, and Martinsville not too far behind. Gallion to trigger it in, and she gets it into Polston. Pass deflected, but Owens is still able to come up with it and keep her dribble. Under a minute left to go.
Looking for some type of curling play off the pick here. Don't find it.
And that was Owens. That's her first shot attempt. A quick catch and shoot. DeCastro drives in, has it stripped away. It's on the floor, and Chatard picks it up in the backcourt. They dump it down. Polston again there to swipe it away, as Martinsville will have it with 22 seconds. Owens makes a move and might have taken a left hand to the face, as that was Lily Moeller, and that's foul number 2 on her. Owens will look to get it in with 13.3. They get it in. Polston trying to create some space. Up with the left hand, and it trickles off the rim. No good. For a moment, an offensive rebound. It's still loose for Martinsville. 3 seconds. Lewis, a long three just off the front of the rim. And the first quarter comes to a close. Tied up at 8 apiece between the Trojans and the Artesians. Second quarter upcoming here on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Bishop Chatard High School. Second quarter upcoming between Martinsville and the Trojans. 8-8 our score with Joey Lindstrom, Jarrett Lewis here on IndianaSRN. Thanks so much for tuning in this evening. Trojans trying to start the season 2-0. Meanwhile, Martinsville in their 6th game looking for victory number 4. A couple of players in foul trouble for Artesians, including their star, Delaney Wolf, who's averaging 20 points a game, was able to knock down a 3 in that first quarter, but 2 fouls for her. And she will start off this second quarter on the bench for Coach Dorsett.
And you have to wonder if that's a rest style, or a rest decision for Coach Dorsett, or if that's a decision to just figure out who else is going to step up. I can't really imagine that you'd want to keep Delaney Wolf off the floor.
3-second violation called on the Trojans, so a quick turnover to start off this second quarter.
And that's not what you want if you're Bishop Chatard. I don't think Coach Wagner plans on having his players have 3 seconds in the lane because they've been moving the ball so much and moving around so much. So I like the patience, but maybe a little too much.
Now the first offensive trip for Martinsville. In the second quarter, bad pass, and Polston can't track it down. And both teams now start the second quarter with a turnover.
See what Chatard does with this possession. I mean, still running against that zone. You're spread out. You have to find looks, but somebody has to cut.
Nice close defense from Gallion on Caskey. And Caskey loses the handle on it. Again, Polston kind of swiping her hand through there. She's had a couple of deflections. Points coming with a fight here to start this game. 8 minutes and now 9 minutes gone by. Just 16 combined points. Another bad pass. Caskey trying to get the steal and the fast break layup. She doesn't. Davis over the back tries to tip it back, and she'll end up picking up a foul. Martinsville now 8 turnovers. A substitution for Bishop Chatard will bring Lily Moeller back in. She has 2 fouls, as does Davis, who's the one to take a seat. Free throws upcoming for Martinsville. First one is up, a high arcing shot, falls short. And it doesn't hit the rim on the 1-and-1.
Now, if you're Chatard, you have to go take advantage of this. Not a point scored in the last 6 game minutes. It's the time to let it unload.
3-pointer's good for Caskey. Kate Caskey with her first bucket And for a long time, deadlocked at 8. Chatard takes the lead. Pass deflected. Polston picks it up. Cross-court pass. Owens a look at 3 from the right wing. It's off the front of the rim, and Adams with a long rebound up the floor to Caskey, trying to go back-to-back, and she does. That forces a timeout call by Coach Dorsett of Martinsville, and we'll take 1-2. 13-8 our score with 5:56 left to go in quarter number 2.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
(13-8) Chatard on a 5-0 run. After 2 made buckets by Kate Caskey, a 3-pointer. The second of the game for Chatard. Izzy Davis had the other, and then Caskey following up with a fast break, too. She has 5 total points. Polston and company trying to respond, but it's another turnover. Up the floor, Quinn Johnson. She can't get it to go. And the ball's batted around. Martinsville will take it back. Owens will try the left wing this time, and she connects. Ryan Owens into the box score for the first time.
Yeah, she's the type of player that needs to have the ball, especially with Delaney Wolf out, and she finally finds it after taking about, I think, 3 shots from outside the arc.
Caskey will try to answer, and she does. Kate Caskey with her second 3-pointer of the ball game. She has 8 points to lead all scorers.
Great job by Caskey to right place, right time. She knew exactly the type of timing that it was going to take in order for her to make that shot.
Now each team has 3 made threes. Owens driving baseline, gets called for a traveling violation.
Interesting that was called.
A lot of contact there, and you lose the handle of the ball. It is a close call to make.
I think that was a look. Don't try to do that again kind of a call. Maybe you never know.
And that was right in front of us, as you can see. We're up here on the stage. Our running floater goes down for Lily Moeller. She becomes the 4th different scorer for the Trojans. Adams trying to pick up a steal. Her defense has been impressive, getting up on the girl with the ball and getting into those passing lanes.
The scoring has been coming at a premium now for the last 2 minutes.
Caskey with 8 of the 18 now for Chatard. Another bad pass is deflected by the Trojans. This time it's Anna McGinley. She gets her first action. So we've seen 6 players come off the bench for Coach Wagner. He is going deep in his roster. 11 different girls have hit the court. Grace Feltz, one of those girls off the bench, guarding Owens up top. On the floor to Castro, picks it up. Another turnover by Martinsville. Taking it the other way is Thompson. That's a dozen turnovers by Martinsville in this first half. They'll swing it over. Into the corner to Castro. Trying to beat Lewis baseline, and she gets called for steps. That's a turnover on Chatard.
I've never seen a team, especially a high school girls basketball team, with so much anticipation for where the next pass needs to be. They're wonderfully coached by Dan Wagner, and I think that is indicative of what this team might look like throughout the year. They're willing to share the ball because maybe they came off with 2 players who were scoring all their points. Well, they need to find out who's going to be scoring the bulk of the points, but it actually feels like they're willing to spread the ball all around.
Owens tries the backdoor cut, and Polston's pass can't thread the needle, and here's a bad pass up the floor from Chatard, but they will be able to keep it out of bounds under. And Coach Wagner, in just his first year taking over for Katie Fisher, seeing the intensity being picked up here in this first half of play from his girls. Bad pass from Adams. Polston gets the steal.
Yeah, Adams was looking for her block down in the middle of that zone. Unfortunately, not finding her.
We'll swing it around to the Artesians. Lewis has it left wing. Able to beat her girl off the dribble. No shot is the call. The foul is on the floor. And it's going to go against the Trojans. And now both teams are in a 1-and-1 situation.
Kirsten Willen's going to go to the line and shoot. But I think you look at both these teams. Martinsville has had 5 games to figure out what is working for them, but we haven't seen Delaney Wolf since the first quarter. Way to knock it down, too, by Kirsten Willen, 5'9" senior.
Second free throw is also up and good. Now Chatard with a 5-point lead. It got to as much as 7 to Castro. A wild shot up with the off arm, and it's an offensive rebound for Caroline Bell. And that has been the story of this first half, getting the O boards right now are Bishop Chatard and forcing the turnovers. Going the other way, nice deflection made by Owens to send that shot out of bounds from Phelps. Turnovers committed by Martinsville. They have 14. They have more turnovers than points. Davis with a spin move, but she's met by a double team, and that's a turnover.
Martinsville's biggest struggle right now has been trying to move the ball, trying to move without the ball. No one's getting open, really. They're trying to drive to the lane just like that, and unfortunately forcing turnovers.
Bell gets another steal. And walling up was Polston, but it looks like the foul was going to be called on whoever came in and tried to swipe it away. That was Emma Potter. Potter picks up a foul. There's 8 team fouls now for both teams. Chatard looking to extend their lead. They cannot. Bell's free throw is a miss. And Joey, we are closing in on 2 minutes left to go in the second quarter, and no sign of Delaney Wolf checking back in for Martinsville. Another turnover. The missed shot, but another offensive rebound for Chatard. That was Grace Phelps.
I think Chatard is feeling a little bit of vengeance from last year when Martinsville came out in the beginning of the season and beat them. They're playing as hard as can be. But you're right, with no Delaney Wolf, I feel like this Martinsville offense doesn't really have a solid idea of where they're supposed to be going. They're trying to run the offense through Ryan Owens, and she's a great person to run it through, having hit a couple shots already, but it's just nothing's clicking like it usually probably seems.
And yet again, another turnover. There's just no rhythm. No rhythm offensively. They're not sure what to do, is Martinsville. And we'll, for Artesian fans' sake, hope to see Wolf finishing off the second quarter, but at least to start off the second half. And not sure if there's maybe an injury concern with Wolf. It appears she is sitting on the bench. Nothing looks wrong, but now we get an injury as Polston hit the ground hard.
Yeah, I think she probably tripped over somebody or what have you. I didn't quite catch it, to be honest. You know, we're down here at end court, and I'm looking down, and I can't really tell. But no foul was called. She seems to be okay, and that's the most important part.
And it is Martinsville that will have it. Minute 32 left to go. Timeout will put Polston on the bench for perhaps the rest of this first half. Don't want to see another foul go in her direction. Rottencrans has checked back in. Owens met with very close coverage by Grace Phelps. Another turnover. Going the other way is Bell, and she finishes with the right hand. Caroline Bell has 4 points, and that is the 18th turnover committed by Martinsville. foul on the ball. This one's going to go against Lily Moeller. I mean, yeah, you have 18 turnovers, but it's still just an 11-point game. I mean, it is quite a margin, especially for high school girls basketball. I mean, any margin above 10 can sometimes be hard to overcome, especially when points, like you said, are coming at a premium. It's been hard for these two teams to score, and now Rottencrantz is able to make it a 10-point deficit. But needless to say, now that it's a 9-point deficit, with the amount of turnovers that you have, you can still feel kind of good about yourself with a whole half left to go.
Yeah,
You're
you can.
Down 9.
Yeah, still being down single digits. Well, not anymore after that 3 from Anna McGinley.
Anna McGinley for the first time gets a bucket to go. 4 3-pointers made by Bishop Chatard, and McGinley gets number 4.
She's the tallest player on the Chatard team, but she opens it up, hits it beyond the arc.
And McGinley at 6'1". It's been a little bit of everybody. There hasn't been really one set-in-stone matchup, although Owens has taken a lot of action from Grace Feltz defensively, as that pass gets batted out right over the producer here. Good thing it wasn't a
great reaction skills.
Good thing it wasn't a foot to our right.
Yeah, that would have taken out our
knocked out the laptop, and who else knows what else. And not sure what happened here. Looks like a technical foul going against Martinsville. It's going to be Coach Dorsett getting called for the tee. We'll see 2 free throws upcoming for Bishop Chatard when we come back.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Because land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a deer. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
There's a look at the Bishop Chatard girls, who have their largest lead of the game, 27-15. 18 turnovers is how many they forced, which is more than the amount of points for Martinsville. And that has resulted in a lot of fast break points, including 4 made threes, 2 from Kate McCaskey, and 6 different scorers have put in some points for Bishop Chatard. And on the other side, it is 6 different scorers, 2 for Martinsville, but they've only come in single instances. So the points that these players have scored for Martinsville, those are their only points. Some of them have 3, some of them have 2. So there hasn't been one go-to girl to step up and get the scoring going for Martinsville ever since Delaney Wolf went to the bench midway through the first quarter. And Grace Adams knocks down both of those technical free throws.
Well, and Delaney Wolf still is on the sideline. I have to imagine that maybe she's yielded an injury. It feels to me like it's not a deliberate coaching decision anymore.
Yeah, I can't imagine you would keep Wolf out. Even with those 2 fouls, she is your best player. You just tell her, hey, play smart, play clean. Don't pick up any stupid fouls. But maybe that's not the case. But hopefully we'll see Wolf, and for Martinsville's sake, playing in the second half, as Bishop Chatard will look to hold for one last shot. Under 10 seconds now. They have a 14-point lead. Right wing 3. No good. Trying to get the offensive rebound was Adams, but Polston able to bring it down, but not after a slow second quarter from Martinsville. They only score 7 points in that quarter, and Bishop Chatard comes away with 21. 29-15 is our halftime score here from Bishop Chatard. The Trojans with the lead and trying to go to 2-0 on the season. Stay with us here. Halftime coming up here in the second half on IndianaSRN.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry-out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Oh, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
It's halftime here at Bishop Chatard High School, and the Trojans with an impressive first quarter of play, scoring 21 points to just 7 allowed to Martinsville, and they lead at 29-15 here at the half. With Joey Lindstrom, Jarrett Lewis here on IndianaSRN. 9 different scorers have put in points for the Trojans. They are led in scoring by Kate Caskey, who has 2 made threes and a 2 to give her 8 points. Caroline Bell with a couple of fast break layups has 5 points to be second on the team. But it's a real different story. You compare the 9 different scores for Chatard, you have 6 different girls that have been able to score for Martinsville, but their leading scorer is 3 different players, and it's their 3 best players being Ryan Owens, Delaney Wolf, and Haley Polston. But ever since Delaney Wolf went to the bench, points have been hard to come by for Martinsville.
Yeah, they each have a 3-pointer, and that's why they're all leading, because they've only been able to really get they haven't been able to get any penetration in the paint. They've only been able to find outside shots, and even when they do, they're really not making them. And we wondered and pondered about why Delaney Wolf might not be in right now. And we thought at first it might be a coaching decision because she didn't really come out flat. She didn't really. What's the word I'm looking for? I mean, she didn't really just create anything that was neither good nor bad. And so she had a bunch of chances to go score points, but then she gets taken out, and we think it might be an injury now. So regardless of that, though, if you're Martinsville, you're sitting in this zone defensively, but you are giving up those outside shots, and Bishop Chatard in the second quarter was able to take advantage of them outside in that zone. And I think that's unfortunately the disadvantage of the 2-3 zone. And if you're Martinsville, you got to be able to stay more aggressive. Bishop Chatard is out-rebounding them after they shoot. Our offensive rebounds are 10-1 over Martinsville, and that's indicative of a couple different things. The attitude that Bishop Chatard has come out to play with, and also just the coaching style that they have. And they're also, I'm impressed, they're looking to pass immediately as soon as they get the ball and get the open shot. It's been impressive so far in the start.
Yeah, but give credit to this Bishop Chatard defense. Martinsville has looked sloppy at times with some bad passes, but these Trojan defenders, and Grace Adams has done a tremendous job of this. Also, Caroline Bell has gotten numerous steals. They are getting in those passing lanes, and they are making it hard for Martinsville to get off any sort of clean pass. And their defense, they are meeting them well beyond the three-point line. They're not sitting back and giving Martinsville any room to work around. They are meeting them extended defense out, and they are making it hard. We counted 18 total turnovers that Martinsville committed in that first half.
It was hard to see because this squad has been so good offensively. It was hard for us to watch because they just kept turning the ball over. Credit, like you said, to Bishop Chatard's offense, to defense rather. They were stealing the ball really at will, and they were taking it down to the other end, letting the fast breaks ride, and they were able to take advantage in every moment that they could. We were tied at 8-8 for a while in that second quarter, and all of a sudden the floodgates just opened up. Chatard scored 21. And Martinsville having only scored 7, really the difference was being able to take advantage of all those turnovers.
But there's still a second half to play. 16 total minutes left to go to decide this one from Bishop Chatard. 29-15 is our halftime score. More of the halftime show coming up here on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Getting closer to the second half of play here on IndianaSRN. Girls varsity basketball on a Saturday afternoon between Bishop Chatard and Martinsville. Right now the Trojans, after a 21-point second quarter, able to extend their lead to the largest it's been all game at 14, 29-15 our score. Alongside Joey Lindstrom, Jarrett Lewis with you here. The three leading scorers for Martinsville came in averaging 38 points altogether combined per game, and through that first half of play, only able to combine for 9 points, that being Ryan Owens, Delaney Wolf, and Haley Polston. So just 9 points altogether. This defense from Bishop Chatard really stifling and making it hard for, let alone Martinsville, just to get into any sort of offensive rhythm and get off shots. It usually Chatard has been able to force turnovers before Martinsville gets up a shot attempt.
Yeah, they have. They've been getting in the passing lanes. They've been using their offhands and anticipating where the ball might go. These are things that are important when you're playing defense, and Chatard has really done well fundamentally at being anticipatory of where the ball might go. That is a huge, huge advantage if you're the Trojans, because not only does it open up your offense, but it gives you more chances to go attack the basket.
The last 8 meetings have gone in favor of Martinsville. They lead that series 7-1. The last time these two teams met was this time last year, although the date was November 21st, which is tomorrow. So tomorrow and last year, it was a 68-51 win for Martinsville. So a convincing fashion. They were able to top this Bishop Chatard team, but right now the Trojans getting a little bit of revenge, and maybe that's something that first-year head coach Dan Wagner kind of put on his team is, how about we play just tremendous basketball, smart basketball. We stay aggressive, we pick up the tempo, and we don't make it easy for this Martinsville team. And with a good first half of play, we're looking solid if we can keep things going in this second half and try to redeem ourselves from last year's loss.
And why not? I mean, if you did lose last year, but you're a first-year head coach for this squad, they have to have some salt in the wound. You have 8 seniors who all experienced that last year on varsity. So they have a little bit of that edge to them and chip on their shoulder where they could say, hey, let's just let it ride. Let's go do our thing. Let's play solid defense. Let's shoot the ball. And let's get ourselves open and move the ball constantly, which they're doing a great job of. And that's why they have a 14-point lead heading into the second half.
Both of these teams coming off a win in their last game. For Martinsville, defeating Bloomington North 44-38, and for Bishop Chatard earlier in the week at Crispus Attucks, topping them 64-56. So both these teams trying to extend a win streak early on in this girls basketball season. We'll take one more break. When we come back, second half of girls basketball action here from Bishop Chatard coming your way on IndianaSRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
There's a coach. Look at the coach Dan Wagner of Bishop Chatard. His team up 29-15 as we close in on this second half of play from Bishop Chatard High School, north side of Indianapolis. Trying to start the season 2-0 are the Trojans after their victory earlier in the week on Tuesday at Crispus Attucks. Their next game, they get a little bit of a break, but it'll be November 24th. They will be at Cathedral. So, you know, those two teams will be duking it out and could sure enough be a very exciting matchup in the days to come for Bishop Chatard. But as the rest of the seconds wind down here, got to think we'll see Delaney Wolf to start off this second half. I mean, she missed the entire second quarter with those 2 fouls. And I think from here on out, you're probably not worrying about those fouls. You're worrying about probably drawing fouls yourself. Getting to the free throw line, Martinsville did a nice job of that. They were 4 of 4 shooting free throws in the first half, so maybe a little bit more of that in the second half of play.
And the referees are calling everything. We saw even a couple times where the ball got poked away cleanly, but it was still called a foul. So if you're Martinsville, try to be more aggressive than Chatard. That's sometimes just as simple as it is. And you see Delaney Wolf is out there once again, but Chatard's going to play her tough.
That they are, as Grace Feltz starts this second half guarding Wolf, and she immediately is looking to drive in, and she draws a foul.
It's like they listen to us, Jarrett.
Yeah. This one's going against Grace Feltz. That's just her first, but it does put Wolf at the free throw line for the first time. Just 3 points in that first half of play. The first free throw looks awfully easy. And somebody we don't see to start off this second half for Martinsville is Haley Polston, the starting center.
She appears to be chatting with the trainer for Bishop Chatard. Doesn't look like Martinsville brought their trainer today.
Nice pass down low. Feltz, she draws a foul, got pushed in from behind by Rottenkranz, and Grace Feltz will head to the free throw line where she was 2 of 2 back in the first half. And we've played just 10 seconds, Joey, and we already have a foul on each team.
Yep.
That's that aggressiveness, and the referees really, they're calling it tight. Feltz's first free throw off the front of the iron.
They are calling it tight, and I think that's indicative more of how all referees are going to try to call games this year.
This is actually Feltz's first free throw attempts of this game. And she is now 0 for 2, but an offensive rebound and nearly an and one putback for Caroline Bell. She just flew in from nowhere. Nobody picked her up. And now Bell will try to put some free throws down. Free throw shooting in the first half, 5 of 9 were the Trojans, and they're now 5 and 11 as a team.
I think when you look at Caroline Bell, a couple steals in the first half to turn into fast breaks. A player that makes her own chances.
Bell able to make the latter of the two. Full court press upcoming and a couple of pushes. It was Grace Feltz trying to keep a close eye on Wolf, and she took a nice push in from the back.
Here, Coach Dorsett encouraging Delaney Wolf just to play your game. I mean, I think that's when you don't play in the second quarter, and now you're back in the second half. This is a big opportunity. Your team's down 13. They need you.
Now the referees will converse as it is face guarding full court defense coming here from Bishop Chatard. Wolf will try to get it in. And she quickly does to Gallion.
Good
Back
defense from
Wolf.
Chatard to try to. I mean, Delaney Wolf is a very dynamic offensive player, and she can drive anywhere, really.
And it appears that Coach Wagner is going to stick Grace Feltz on her for quite possibly the rest of this game. 30-17 ball game. And reaching in and stealing that one away is Bell. Another steal for her. Up the floor to Adams. Falling down was Gallion, but Adams still got it to go. More full court pressure. Rottenkranz trying to break it. Izzy Davis on her closely. Traveling comes in called against Martinsville.
Those are the types of plays you can't have. I know that they're trying to take away Delaney Wolf, who can bring the ball up well and consistently. However, when you try to put the ball in the hands of somebody else, when Chatard is running this full court press right now, it makes it a more challenging.
Izzy Davis, a cross-court pass with the right hand like a football. And maybe some miscommunication there as Trojans had two players in the area, but they both thought the other one was going to get it. Chatard has 9 turnovers. Martinsville has 20, nearly 21, as this full court pressure has been giving them fits. And we got a whistle as Coach Wagner's getting too intense, too involved in the game. He was over the mid-court line.
Unfortunately, he has the disadvantage of having a quiet gym when the ball's in play, and only the coach is the ones yelling.
And Feltz has picked up 2 quick fouls to start off this third quarter. She has 3 total, just trying to almost hug Wolf wherever she goes. Wolf drives in, shot blocked by Bell. Bell gets it up to Adams. Fast break for the Trojans. Feltz drives in, nearly loses the handle on it, and is still able to get a shot off, and last touched by, it appears, to Castro of Chatard. Castro will now guard Willen as she tries to get it in, and she gets a handle on it, but still able to get it to Gallion, and they break the pressure.
Good job by Martinsville. They had Wolf on the fly. Unfortunately, she wasn't really seen by Willen.
Willen with a nice cut this time, but can't get the layup to fall. Chatard has this lead back up to 15, which is what it was at the half. Check that, it was 14 at the half, so 15 now is the largest. Here's a turnover by Chatard. Owens the other way. That's now double-digit turnovers for the Trojans, but they have been able to force twice as many. Owens guarded by Bell, and now this is the matchup to watch. Wolf able to beat Feltz, and we get a whistle. Looks like Bell was out of bounds as she tried to get the ball back in play.
Bell's going to get a well-deserved rest here. She's been working her butt off trying to defend Delaney Wolf. And she's done a great job so far. 3 possessions in a row, Delaney Wolf has tried to drive to the hole, and Bell has been there either to stuff her shot or to just be in the way to try to get it to pass.
And now it'll be Grace Adams who is tasked with guarding Wolf, and she picks up a foul too. Wolf has been able to force about 3 fouls in this opening 2.5 minutes. We've had probably about a dozen whistles to start off this third quarter. And we get another one here as this might be Adams again. And it is. Grace Adams picks up her 3rd foul, and 2 in the matter of about 3 seconds. She's forced to come out. Coach Wagner will send in Lily Moeller. Out of bounds under. They get it into the backcourt. A shot from Willen. Her 3-pointer goes down. That's Kirsten Willen, a senior. And she's got 5 points. Makes it a 12-point deficit now. They kick out. Lily Davis trying to answer with a 3, and it hits the wiring up on top of the basketball goal.
I like what Chatard's doing, trying to find the open shot, getting it out to Izzy Davis. She's got such a high arcing shot.
No full court pressure this time as Wolf is able to get around Thompson, and now she's tangled up with the Castro coming in. And the jump ball has the arrow pointed in favor of the Trojans. Martinsville opting to bring in some full court pressure of their own now, down 12. A team that so far this season averages 45 points a game, which isn't a incredibly high mark by any standards, but just 20 points to show for, as that turnover was a double dribble by Quinn Johnson, and a timeout Going to be called by Coach Wagner of Bishop Chatard. It appears it'll be a full timeout, so we'll take one with them. 4:50 left to go in this third quarter on IndianaSRN.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
It's a 12-point lead for the Trojans of Bishop Chatard. Just 3 points for the Trojans so far in what's been a extremely long third quarter, and we've only played 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Joey Lindstrom here with me, Jarrett Lewis on IndianaSRN. Martinsville trying to claw their way back into this one. So far outscoring the Trojans in this third quarter as Gallion will mend with Wolf, who stops on a dime, and that jump shot just inside the three-point line goes down for Wolf, who now leads Martinsville in scoring with 7. Quickly on the other end, a response from Caskey and the Trojans.
Caskey's been a reliable target for Bishop Chatard today.
Caskey's the first one in double figures for anyone on the court. She has 10.
And she's the type of player that just seems to be in the right place. She gets rebounds. She'll get passes that get tipped up in the air.
This is a bad pass from Martinsville. It's turnover number 21. This is definitely not a time where you want to be committing turnovers and trading buckets, but Wolf will pick up a turnover on her own, and she takes it all the way with the left hand.
She's got 9 points now.
DeCastro whips that pass in there, and now they kick it back out. Thompson as DeCastro cut back down the lane. Nice quick passing made here by the Trojans. Falling down after that shot was Moeller. And she's able to get back up after the offensive rebound.
This team makes so many passes so quickly. Unfortunately, that comes to bite them.
Another steal by Wolf. Up the floor, the finish for Rottenkranz. And now a quick 30-second timeout called by Martinsville and Coach Dorsett. And he kind of stops the run of the Artesians, but possibly setting things up for the remaining 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So now the lead is cut down to 8. It's the closest it's been in quite some time for Martinsville.
Yeah, and they've been able to capitalize on a couple mistakes from Chatard while still giving up a couple baskets. But what's been huge for them is getting Delaney Wolf more involved and getting her open as well. That's a huge portion of their game, is trying to get her into positions to score. And she's not only doing that, but she's also getting her teammates in the right position too. Makes a play on that last possession to steal the ball through the air and get it up to Rottenkranz. Now you're only down 8 points. We said before that a 14-point deficit, which is the largest lead so far for Chatard, is really hard to overcome in high school girls basketball. Well, with the pace that this game's going, I could honestly see Martinsville starting to crawl back into this thing.
It's been a fast-paced game
Yeah.
from start to finish, from the opening tip to this point right here. Weaving her way through is Bell, trying to throw it underhand up to the rim. It's out of bounds, but it'll stay with the Trojans. Last touched by Gallion. Running a box set, here are the Trojans as Caskey will throw it in. And it's underneath the outstretched arm of DeCastro, but referee says looks like Martinsville was the last to touch.
I didn't think anybody really touched it.
No one touched it. So, but it is, you go back to the previous throw-in spot. So it is Martinsville. Owens up the floor to Wolf.
That was the pass they were looking for Delaney Wolf on before, and they finally get it there. Little long ball to the receiver.
Artesian still within striking distance. Here's a short corner shot that goes down for Rottenkrantz, and she has 6 points for the girls in red, and now it's a 6-point deficit.
Well, here it is if you're Martinsville. Now you fall back into that zone. Try to force them to make some errors.
It is a 2-3 zone to Castro. Can't get it back on their side of the court. It's an over and back and a turnover. And now all of a sudden you can kind of feel a little momentum shifting towards the side.
I like the shoulder move you just did.
Of
Momentum, baby.
Yeah, I wish we would have got that on camera. Sorry. There's our cameraman's looking at me right now. Here's Wolf driving in. She was able to beat her girl, but she lost the handle on it. Trojans facing this pressure. Wolf is there. Adams is able to get around her. Over to Davis. They shift back into the 2-3, and shuffling her feet was Caroline Bell. A couple of quick turnovers committed by both teams here in the last minute or so.
I think Bell was fine there if she just takes the ball, plants her feet, and pivots. But unfortunately, she gets the traveling violation.
Delaney Wolf, 9 points so far to lead Martinsville. Wolf off the screen, guarded by Thompson. Couple of crossovers, splitting the defense, and took some contact, but the shot is no good. And now here comes Adams and company the other way. Wild shot goes down for number 20, Grace Adams. She now has 6 points.
Nifty play from Adams. She's such a fast little player. Really makes a lot happen for this team.
Nearly getting the steal that time is Adams. We're not keeping track of steals, but just it's kind of like when you're a defensive player, like a defensive lineman, and you're trying to get to the quarterback. They keep track of pressures and hurries and actual sacks. Adams is one of those players defensively for Bishop Chatard, just getting deflections, putting pressure, and then ultimately kind of getting those sacks. But in basketball, it being a steal, of course.
Right.
She has been the defensive player of the game, I think, for Bishop Chatard.
I like that. Maybe they should add that to basketball. Something like the intangible kind of plays that you don't always show up on the TV, right? But the coaches notice in the film session.
That's right.
A little over 90 seconds to go here in the third quarter. I mean, this game is shaping up to be really more than we maybe thought at the end of this first half.
A deep three is short from Wellen, and the long rebound goes to Thompson, who throws it away, throws it to nobody. It's now 15 turnovers committed by Bishop Chatard. Martinsville has cleaned up their game just a little bit better in the second half compared to the first. But here's another steal. This time it's Caskey. One girl to beat. Wolf deflects the shot. Last touched by Martinsville. A couple of substitutions for both teams. Moeller checks in for Chatard. DeCastro's in. In the corner, it's Muller. No good on the three. Wolf with the long rebound, and here she goes. Takes a little bump from Thompson and able to draw the foul. She'll head back to the free throw line.
A couple of different times Delaney Wolf has been on this fast break. She knows that Chatard is going to swarm to her. It might throw Chatard off a little bit if Delaney Wolf drives to the hole and dishes it out for a three ball. But regardless, she gets the line to shoot two.
3 points in the first half, 6 so far in the second, and her first miss at the free throw line for Wolf, where she was 2 of 2.
Something to keep an eye on here. Chatard has 6 fouls right now. If they crawl into the bonus, but Martinsville kind of keeps this pace, that could be trouble if you're the Trojans.
It was a different story in the first half. I believe Martinsville was the one that was kind of in this spot with a lot of fouls committed early on in the opening quarter of the half, and Wolf ends up going 0 for 2 And in response, it's a Kate Caskey three-pointer. That's her third of the game. She now has 13 points. Wolf trying to answer. Nearly gets the shot to go, and she takes a bump. And possibly trying to redeem herself as she goes back to the charity stripe.
Good foul draw there by Delaney Wolf. And when you're playing aggressive like that, those things are bound to happen where you're able to go to the foul line. You're able to go shoot two. Unfortunately, for Martinsville, she missed the last two. And then they give up a three, but she's right back at it again. And now you're down by 10 with 48 seconds to go in the third. You have to make a little run here before the quarter ends.
Wolf now in double digits with 10. And make it 11 as she goes 2 for 2 that time. She's 4 of 6 from the free throw line. It's a 9-point advantage right now for the Trojans. More 2-3 zone from Martinsville. And that's the girl you want to get out on if you're Martinsville, being Kate Caskey. Leads all scorers with 13. 9 of those points coming from beyond the arc. A couple of drives and some kicks. Davis, high arcing three, no good. Offensive rebound for Caskey. Boy, she can do it all. She can shoot from outside, and now she can play it tough down low and get offensive rebounds.
The offensive rebounding for Chatard has been remarkable. I mean, they've been able to get around, and maybe they've gotten some lucky bounces here and there, but that's part of the game. I mean, when you're getting offensive rebounds and you're able to try to get putbacks or go to the foul line, gosh, what an advantage.
We're not sure how many rebounds or offensive rebounds to be specific each team has, but it almost feels like Bishop Chatard has as many offensive rebounds as Martinsville does total rebounds. I mean, that's just how active they have been getting that basketball after missed shots.
Yeah, truly, and it's been very impressive to watch them go to work.
Caskey now has 14, under 10 seconds left to go. Wellens three, off the back iron. She gets her own rebound. 3 seconds left to go in the quarter. Pass to Wolf, and I don't think she got the shot off, but it doesn't matter. It was a miss, and it's a 10-point lead for Chatard as we enter the fourth and final quarter. 40-30 is our score. Trojans on top here on IndianaSRN.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
With Joey Lindstrom, Jarrett Lewis here on IndianaSRN. Girls varsity basketball action on this Saturday afternoon as the Trojans have led most of the way. It was an 8-8 ball game after the end of the first quarter. But a 21-point second quarter for the Trojans gave them a 29-15 halftime lead. And they've held on to it, although Martinsville has had some glimpses and had some little mini runs. They were able to cut it down to 6 at one point in that third quarter. But right now, it's still a sizable lead for Bishop Chatard at 10.
Well, their highest scoring quarter was quarter number 2. And then that third quarter, they were unable really to really find anything until the tail end. And they found that through the hot hand of Kate Caskey. And she was able to hit a three. Wouldn't matter most to get them up to 39, and then she hits another free throw. But really for Martinsville, they've been trying to get the ball to Delaney Wolf more, and she's the girl that draws the most fouls, and now they're headed of the bonus line.
Wolf has been kind of making a living at this free throw line here of late. 4 of 6 total, and she'll have the 1-and-1 this time, as that's 8 team fouls against Bishop Chatard. Shooting free throws the rest of the way, although it rattles in and out from Wolf.
Yeah, she's clearly frustrated with herself because she's usually sure-handed at the free throw line. But this is what happens sometimes in basketball.
Looking behind the defense, great pass from Davis. Caskey couldn't make it, but there's DeCastro.
Great rebound by DeCastro. Another offensive rebound for Bishop Chatard.
They're going to call an offensive foul as Bell tried to make some space with that wraparound. So now team foul number 9 called against the Trojans. The next one will put Martinsville shooting 2 free throws the rest of the way. Just 3 team fouls to talk about for Martinsville. Their defense has played a lot better. They outscored Bishop Chatard in that third quarter, 15-11.
So Mackenzie Martin subbing back on there for Martinsville, number 4. She was key defensively in that first half.
Caskey can't hit this time. And Martin comes flying in for the rebound. Owens meshing with Wolf. Puts a spin move on, goes around 3 defenders, and draws another foul.
When you have a slasher, when you have a player with a slasher mentality like that, you have to get her into positions to score, and they do here. Really nice job to get Delaney Wolf in a position where she can go to the basket, and she drew 3 defenders there. Again, though, I think there has to be somebody else maybe floating around that arc for her to go past to when she gets in that position, and that play might come at a very opportune time for Martinsville if they keep pace.
Wolf is now 5 of 8 from the free throw line, 12 points, make it 13, and 6 of 9. Definitely the most free throw attempts by anybody. We get a whistle, and appears to be a quick timeout called by Coach Wagner and the Trojans as they continue to see this full court press be in effect from Martinsville. 40-32 our score, and it appears the name of the game, and especially since Bishop Chatard has committed 10 team fouls, is going to be get those girls involved like Delaney Wolf driving to the bucket and continue to draw fouls and get to the free throw line, because also, I mean, it is an 8-point deficit that you face, but it's a win-win situation when you are able to drive, force a foul, stop the clock, and you're going to the line for free throw attempts. And Wolf has been successful so far, being 6 of 9.
Yeah, she has. She's the type of player that when she wants the ball at all times, obviously, but she can't do it all herself. But what she will do is try to go create opportunities for her team. And now, like you said, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, she's getting those opportunities at the line to try to inch closer and closer into this deficit, now down 8 points.
And the offense has looked a lot different in this entire second half so far without Haley Polston being in. She hasn't gotten in. She took a hard fall in the second quarter, as this foul is going to go against Martinsville after the drive from Caskey. Kate Caskey, 14 points. Her and Wolf dueling it out, and now Caskey's 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Martin checks out with Willen coming back in. One of the starters for Martinsville. Caskey, catch and shoot. And she's now 3 of 4. Back to a 10-point lead. Still a lot of time left to go in this one. Just a minute and a half gone by in this final quarter. Deflected out of bounds off the shot from Owens.
I like the aggression from Ryan Owens going to the hole. That one gets tipped out of bounds. Gets another chance at it.
They do get it in to Wolf in the backcourt. Willen crosses up to Castro, up with the left hand, just too strong, and Davis with a tough rebound down low. With her head up the court, finds Bell in the corner, but she traveled with it. Now Chatard closing in on 20 total turnovers. Willen, a deep 3. It's been off the mark. No success Just one made three for Willen. She's about 1 of 6, and that driving in, it's off of Caskey and out of bounds. And nice assist made there by producer Greg. And a quick substitution before we're back in action as the clock is stopped at the 6-minute mark. .40 total turnovers combined between these two clubs. Still a lot of time left to go, just under 6. Wolf with the 3 is no good. And Wolf just steals it away and gets the points. Took it out of the hands of Moeller. That's a big bucket. Another turnover, ball's on the floor, and a jump ball as Chatard was trying to act quick out of the score, and it nearly cost them. Wolf has 15 points. Caskey has 16. Caskey will be the one to get it in. Corner to Moeller. No hesitation there. Two girls fighting for the rebound. They'll say last touched out by Holly Gallion. Catch up on what's going on with the IHSAA Foundation. Subscribe to their newsletter, The Advocate. Send them an email at ihsaafoundation.org. A quick pass inbounds, and Caroline Bell had position.
Caroline Bell was in exactly the right position. Calls for that ball right underneath the basket. Long reach with the left arm, and it rolls right in.
Bell has 8. She's been a nice compliment to girls like Caskey, who has most of the scoring for Chatard. That first free throw is good for Rottencrans, who's 3 of 3 shooting free throws. And now 4 of 4. She's got 8 points. Stay up to date with all IHSAA sports news at our sports page, IndianaSRN.org, or it's at Troy at RadioTroy.com. High school, college, and professional sports on the sports page. Shot fake, but a traveling called against Quinn Johnson. Chatard now has 20 turnovers as a team. Martinsville has 24. They've really picked it up in the second half, taking care of the ball just a little bit better, but still trailing by 8. Wolf kicks things out. Gallion, a shot. It's good, just a 2. As she was just inside the three-point line.
Still a great shot, and you know what happened there was Delaney Wolf created that play, created the open space for her teammate.
Nice cut. And the find, Caroline Bell. She's in double digits.
Yeah, she's been impressive all day.
Gallion will put it up to Owens, and trying to avoid the foul was Thompson, but she will get called for it. So more free throws upcoming. It'll be the rest of the way. Martinsville at the free throw line this time being Ryan Owens, who just has 3 points, and those came back in the first quarter. They're going to bring the subs in before the shot, as Grace Adams has checked back in, as has Grace Feltz, who's been the normal girl. Both those two have gotten a majority of the minutes guarding Wolf.
Yep.
Owens' first free throw is good. Piper Logistics was established in 2002 with the encouragement and financial support of a spirited customer who helped Greg and Tim develop their vision. If you need something transported, contact Piper Logistics, 317-395-1023. Owens goes 2 for 2. She has 5 points. And the deficit is at 6 for the Artesians. Nice quick passing by Chatard. Adams has her shot affected. And they get the ball up the court to Wolf. Wolf with a couple of crossovers draws another foul. She'll head to the line for free throw attempts 10 and 11.
What's been so crazy is how many fouls we've had in this game. Refs are really calling it tight to begin the season.
They sure are. Wolf has 15 points. She can't make it 16. She averages 20 points a game. So getting close to that mark as we're about halfway through this fourth quarter. Second free throw rattles in. Timeout called by Coach Wagner. It's a full timeout. 4:02 left to go in this fourth quarter. 46-41 our score.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you can be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
This one becoming a little bit more interesting, getting to be a much closer ball game as Martinsville has cut the lead of Bishop Chatard down to 5, 46-41 our score as we are 2 seconds away from being halfway through this fourth and final quarter. Martinsville won this contest this time last year, 68-51. A much high-scoring ball game and a 17-point victory. But a much different type of game and atmosphere this time. Cutting through nicely down the middle is Kate Caskey, who now has 18 points.
She has been everywhere on the court today, and no matter what Bishop Chatard does, it feels like Martinsville is still in it, but there's Caskey again.
She got the steal, but she lost the handle on it, and Adams nearly came with a steal of her own. Owens crosses over Feltz. Traveling.
Not what you need.
Called against Gallion.
Not what you need if you're Martinsville.
Wolf and Rottencrantz will be up in this full court pressure. Adams is able to break it. Nice pass to DeCastro, but she can't finish. Oh, a golden opportunity there for the Trojans to make it a 9-point game.
Yep, they needed it.
Owens steps into a three and knocks it down. A huge bucket for Ryan Owens.
Clutch three-pointer from Ryan Owens. Now only down 4, the smallest deficit since the beginning of the game. Martinsville just staying with it, staying on the heels there of Chatard.
Not going away quietly is Martinsville. Owens has 8 points now as a foul is called on the baseline as it was Bell trying to get away from the double team.
Boy, and down it by as many as 15 points in that first half. To come all the way back and be within 4 at this point in the game shows a lot about this Martinsville squad.
Caskey will throw it into the backcourt to Adams. So wide open in the corner is Moeller. She'll step up inside the three-point line and knock down that long two.
I love that idea by Moeller. You know what? I have the three-pointer, but my shot is really inside the arc. I'm going to go ahead and take this one.
Nice connection. Ron Cross can't handle the pass. And Adams will throw it up the court to Bell with the right hand.
Man, when this team is clicking and they're passing, they are really hard to stop. What a laser beam by Grace Adams.
It's gone from a 4-point lead now up to 8 for Bishop Chatard. Wolf with some space. Can't knock down the shot, but the ball finds her. Second shot also no good.
She gets that offensive rebound. I think she rushed her second shot there.
Adams with a great find. DeCastro left wide open on the block.
Yeah, that she was, and it seemed like Mackenzie Martin and Rottencrantz were nowhere to be found inside the paint.
At the worst possible time for Martinsville, their deficit is now back up to 10. Wolf with a wide open lane. The runner is no good. And the rebound goes to Moeller.
What a pass.
No need for a long shot, but you will take that shot from DeCastro. That is now 8 straight points coming in easy fashion for Bishop Chatard. 56-44 now is the score in favor of the Trojans.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a deer. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at ReynoldsFarmEquipment.com.
Just a minute and 22 seconds left to go in this one as the Trojans have exploded in the last minute, extending their lead back up to 12 on Martinsville. We can match you with the right career or hire the right candidate for your company. We do a little bit more than that. Let us help you today. Contact the Morales Group at 317-472-7600. Also, huge shout out to Bertner Electric, another great IndianaSRN partner. They've been serving the Indianapolis area since 1986. They offer 24-hour emergency service. No job is too small. Give them a call today for all your electrical needs. 317-773-7663. Martinsville has to score, and they have to score quickly. Wolf dumps things down. Rottencross will kick it back out. A three from Wellen is off the mark. Owens comes in for the offensive board, and it's tapped out by Lily Davis.
I think Martinsville has the right idea. If you're going to drive to the hole, somebody's going to be open on the outside arc. They'll find exactly what they're looking for. It's more of a matter of just keep trying, just keep punching into the paint.
Owens takes the inbound, drives in, and shot affected by Adams. And now it's sitting pretty for Bishop Chatard, although Adams loses the handle on it. A 12-point lead and under a minute left to go. You are in prime position if you are the Trojans. Wolf will get it into Gallion. Long three from Owens, and it's just short. Rottenkrantz can't keep it in play.
One of those kind of shots where if you just take a step up, if you're Owens, that one's in. But now look at Chatard. I mean, they were up by 4. Martinsville had all the momentum. They sucked it out from a great basket by Caskey.
We have a whistle, and not exactly sure what's happening, but the referee is discussing something with the scorer's table.
Possibly time reset? Clock, yeah.
Yeah, the clock has kind of gone back and forth. It's glitching just a little bit, but it's stopped currently at 43 seconds. And now we will continue this play as Caskey throws it into Bell, who takes a bump and loses the handle on it, and it goes out of bounds. An impressive showing in their first home game this year for Bishop Chatard. They will start this season 2-0. Just their second game this season, like we said, and for Martinsville, this is game number 6. They will now become 500 at 3-3.
I don't think you bat an eye, though, if you're at 500 right now. I think this is a solid Martinsville squad. They're not one-dimensional either. They can really do a lot of different things.
But just if you're a coach and you're looking at the box score after this game, it's going to be turnovers and offensive rebounds. If you're Coach Dorsett of Martinsville, looking at those two things specifically, too many turnovers, especially in that first half, and the offensive rebounds led to too many second chance points for the Trojans. Chatard gets it in. But a traveling called, as looks like it was Moeller who shuffled her feet. So Chatard will hold on and get this victory as Martinsville will look to have the last possession. Wolf, maybe one final score, although she does draw a foul. Took a poke to the face. So going to add on to her point total right now, which is at 16. And make this final score just a little bit closer. Wolf so far from the free throw line, 7 of 11. First one is a miss. Artesians will fall to 3-on-3 on the season. Like we said, their next game, a conference matchup against Mooresville. Wolf makes the second free throw, but it won't matter. The Trojans at one point tied up 8-8 at the end of the first quarter, go on a huge run in the second quarter and lead the entire rest of the ball game. 56-45, our final here from the north side. Just finished up singing the fight song for the girls varsity team of Bishop Chatard. Winners this afternoon, 56-45 over Martinsville. They are 2-0 to start this season, and after last year's loss to Martinsville, which was 68-51, a little redemption for the Trojans, and they did it with a lot of defense, forcing turnovers that leads to fast break points. Leading them in scoring to finish this one was Kate Caskey with 16 points, 3 made threes for Kate Caskey this afternoon, one of the many seniors on this Bishop Chatard squad.
They really have created a certain type of atmosphere here where they're going to pressure the heck out of you with the ball when you have the ball, and they're going to go aggressively play on their rebounds. Not only that, on offensively, they're always looking for the next pass. It's really a best case scenario right now with the 2-0 start. I think they just got to keep riding this momentum.
Next up for Bishop Chatard, November 24th, they will be at Cathedral. And for Martinsville, their next game, like we said, a conference opener at Mooresville on November 23rd. So for the rest of our crew here at Bishop Chatard High School, our cameraman this evening, Matthew Stein, our on-site producer, Greg Smith, and my broadcast partner, Joey Lindstrom, I'm Jared Lewis, saying so long for now. The semi-state game between Gibson Southern and Tri-West kicking off at 5 with Troy D and the coach. You can watch that right here on IndianaSRN. So long, everybody.